Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
About a week ago, June 21st, me and my buddy take a shitty aluminum boat we found in the woods 15 miles down a river. Nobody anywhere for miles. Set up camp on a sandbar, swim and hang around for a while. When it gets around 10, we start watching a movie on my phone. I got 4G out there, odd. Where we're set up watching it is under a shade tree. Thick woods behind us. Hear shit moving around behind us. Every time we go camping, weird shit happens. I'll share other stories later, so we know what to do. We both grab our rifles. I have an AKM with a surefire light. He has an AR with a 1 to 4 times loopholed scope and surefire light. Very quietly, look at each other. Nod. Shine lights behind us and hear the thing run away. Set up our shit with our backs to the river instead of the woods, and build the fire up higher. Finish the movie. We're tired, so we decide to throw a bunch of wood on the fire and go to bed. I'm at one end of the sandbar. This sandbar is probably about 150 to 200 yards long and like 40 yards from the woods to the river, and he's on the other. I can see his flashlight, right in my ear. Shh. Against my first instinct to run away from the noise, I shut up. And then I hear a very low, guttural growling. Shine my flashlight into the woods where I heard it. 3 or 4 coyotes. Put a couple rounds in each one. Yell to my buddy about what happened. Wait for a while, then go to bed. Coyotes gone in the morning. Learn how to get the fuck out very fast. I have a lot of stories from in the woods. I'll try to share a lot of them since I'm bored right now. Live in the woods, in a barn-type structure we have on our property, probably about 1:30 a.m., carrying my trusty flashlight, attached to my AK, walking out of the barn. A little girl's voice says, "Daddy?" very clearly from the woods beside me. Spin around, shine the light, ask who's there. Nothing. Well, come to the house if you need anything. Internal, fuck this, Primal Instinct takes over. Sprint back to the house about 100 yards away. Try to get some sleep but can't because of the adrenaline. Shitpost on 4chan for a while. Hear knocking on the door. Oh shit. There was really a little girl out there. Go to the door and open it. Nothing. Clutch the rifle for the rest of the night. Forgot to add, ever since that night, every time I'm in that area after dark, I feel as though I'm being watched and my adrenaline starts pumping again. Lately, I've just tried to stay there and talk until the feeling wears off. Before, I would take off running. Now, another story from me and the same guy I went on the boat trip with. Hike out to his cabin by the river, about 8 miles away from the truck. The cabin's locked, so we just start a fire and chill until it starts getting dark, where it becomes more important that we only have this one-person tent between the two of us. Break into the cabin through the window. Through the window is a small bedroom with 2 beds. Then there's a wall and a door leading to the rest of the cabin, and the door is locked. Try to sleep, but it's so damn hot, all we do is toss and turn. Get determined and open the door with my knife. Clear the cabin. Nothing abnormal, except for a creepy-ass attic and a dead rotting rat that fell in the toilet. Cooked chili. Start hearing loud knocks from different sides of the cabin, including the roof and the floor. And this cabin is on the ground. A heavy lamp falls off a windowsill. Grab our guns. This was a few years back. This time he has a Wasser with a flashlight, and I have a Mossberg 500 Persuader, and go outside. Look everywhere for what the knocks were. Give up and go inside. Sit down and continue talking. Then this high-pitched screech from the woods. We both burst outside and he shoots into the woods because he saw an eye reflection. Clear the rest of the area and go back to where he saw the eyes. Nothing. Barricade ourselves inside the cabin and continue eating delicious chili. Next morning we pack our shit up and leave. The whole time we're hiking out, we hear shit breaking behind us like something's following us, but we know not to turn around. We drop our shit so we can go faster. Get back to the truck. Load our shit into the bed as fast as possible. The whole time, We hear something raising hell in the woods. Haul ass out of there. One from when I was like 9 or 10, going to fish at the creek with my friend Ethan. On the way there, you have to cross this cemetery with a grave known to everyone as the witch's grave. It says something along the lines of, "Where I am, you soon shall be too," and some more stuff. I have another story about it from a friend's point of view too. As we cross the cemetery, Ethan starts acting sick and odd. Not my problem, main.jpg. From the trail across the cemetery that leads from the creek, a woman steps out, very pale, with long black hair and odd dark clothes. Nope, go fishing somewhere else. Anybody lurking? I got plenty more. A few days before this story took place, I was with this guy at the cemetery, showing him where the witch's grave was, and the grass all around it for like 10 feet was all black. Not like burned or spray painted, but it was just black. Noped out of there quick. Now the trail I was talking about going down earlier to go fishing goes to a bridge over a creek. Everybody goes there to fish and to go mudding. Rural Texas, by the way. Town is full of rednecks. B. Tyler, the guy I showed the witch's grave, fishing at the Spillway at like 2 a.m. with other friends Kyler and Zach, getting ready to leave, trying to find the shotgun in the dark. A massive boulder splashes not 6 feet from him, from across the creek in the woods. That's not funny, guys. Load back in the truck. Zach and Kyler were already there. What the fuck you guys do that for? What the fuck you talking about? You were the one trying to scare us by growling. Mutual oh shit mode engaged as they realize what just happened. Start the truck up. Headlights turn on just in time to see something bipedal dart into the woods. I could tell by the look in their eyes they were telling the truth too. The woods out here are creepy, man. Another one, with the same guy I always get in deep shit with. He's also a commando for extra reference. At his house, bored. Decide to go backroading and exploring. Grab guns, hook them in his truck. Go to Valero for glorious peace tea, and leave. After like an hour of drifting and shit, we came up on a perfect dirt road for drifting. Get to the end of the road. About 30 very old graves, each like 10 feet tall. All of a sudden, notice that the woods are just unnaturally thick. You wouldn't be able to get through it at all. It's closer to a wall of thick vines than any sort of woods I've ever seen. A guy dressed in all black steps out from behind a gravestone and begins walking towards us. Clutch rifles, cut a perfect donut, and get the fuck back to his house to play vidya. With another friend named Nathan, after a relatively large bonfire with like 30 people there, huge for a 1,000-person town, everybody else left. We're just sitting on the tailgate and bullshitting. We hear rustling around in the woods, fairly loud. Shine my light in the area and shoot in the area for shits and giggles. Next morning, come out to pick up cans and trash and shit. A coyote, disemboweled, belly up in between our trucks. I gotta go home. Bye.
Springtime. First big rain of the year. A special mushroom grows in the area for only a few days of the year after the first heavy rain. Worth a pretty penny, so we go out looking for them after the rain stops. These mushrooms have a specific look to them. They stand up about 6 inches, dark gold in color, and covered in lumps. Out all day, picking mushrooms without issue. No ghosts, skinwalkers, or boogermen got me. The sun is high in the sky. Spot a mushroom in the tall grass. Put my hand on it. It feels oddly dry compared to the others. Before I can pull it from the ground, it makes a noise. Let go and back away confused, as most mushrooms don't do that. A rattlesnake lunges out of the grass at me. Jesus Christ. Run away. I didn't even know Iowa had rattlesnakes, but apparently we do, and I held one for a few seconds.
I may have forgotten to mention earlier, my town has a huge cult presence. Everybody knows about it, and a lot of people have encountered them in the past. This is a creepy town. B. Kyler from the other story. His house is on a 20-acre piece of land, surrounded by 400-plus-acre deer leases, so it's always extremely quiet there. Sitting out on the front porch, eating sunflower seeds and drinking tea at midnight-ish. Moral of these stories, go to bed early. This was also a couple weeks ago when it was Friday the 13th and a full moon at the same time. Start hearing chanting shit. Immediately know what it is. Grab an SKS, go in the woods. It takes 3 or 4 hours to get to his property line on foot without using trails. Can hear the chanting very close, and he can see the glow from the fire. Sneaks up close to the demon meth blood fire party. 30 or 40 people gathered around the fire, wearing nice clothes, chanting in a weird language around this fire. Decide it's too many people, and try to get the fuck out. Trip and fall hard backing up. Everyone stops chanting. Kyler just takes off running and doesn't turn back. A few minutes after he gets back to his house, the chanting continues. Calls me out there for backup because he's scared. About 9. I gotta leave for work. He says after I left, he heard the metal wash bins next to his house fall over. He goes out to check it, SKS in hand. A raccoon or coyote skull sitting on his porch, and his shed was on fire. He puts it out fairly quickly, so there's not much damage. But he wanted revenge. Grabs the SKS, some extra clips, bolt cutters, and a propane torch, and heads for the clearing. He gets there and keeps following the trail that's attached to the clearing. There's a small white shed about a mile down. Cuts open the padlock and opens the door. Just stairs going down. Goes down and there's this underground bomb shelter type thing. Looks like high school bleachers on each side and a pentagram on the floor, of course. Smells like death and burnt popcorn as he described it. Torched everything and left. Haven't had a problem since.
Field near a friend's house. 8 or 9 p.m. in the fall, so getting dark, but quite a lot of moonlight, not exactly full, but close. A couple of other friends, all couples. Me and the friend whose house we're near, call her Claire, both single. Hanging out on the climber. Couples making out. Claire and I third-wheeling it up. I climb a tree nearby. Claire suggests showing one of the couples the forest nearby. We're in a pretty high-end suburb, so not likely to be any meth heads or hobos or anything. Claire and the couple go off. The other couple stays on the slide. I'm in my tree, spacing out, thinking about stars and birds and whatever. See a little bun hop out from underneath my tree. The bun looks up at me with its black rabbit eyes. Cute dark brown bun friend. Hops out into the field. Looks up at the moon. My eyes drift over to the forest beyond. Friends humping on the slide. Houses in the distance. Notice the bun stands up onto its hind legs. Then it keeps standing up, stretching upwards to larger than average bun height. It doesn't like anamorph and grow proportionally. Just stretches up until it's maybe 4 feet tall. This bun long legs standing in the middle of the field. Holy shit, I say, hoping to interrupt my friend's pre-coitus. I don't. The bun looks up at me with its black rabbit eyes. Nearly fall out of my tree. The thing just strides into the forest. Claire and the other friends come back a few minutes later. I'm freaked right the fuck out for the rest of the evening.
Living in Wisconsin. Me, 17. My cousin Ben, who was 16. Cousin's friend Josh, also 16. They live in the middle of nowhere. Living there for the summer. House surrounded by woods. The shed is a 30-minute walk from the house. Usually go there to smoke and shoot our BB guns and be idiots. 3 in the afternoon. Anon, Ben and I want to go to the shed. We're bored. I was the oldest, so if I didn't go, they weren't allowed to. Start walking down the trail to the shed. Trees aren't super dense, but dense enough that if you go off the trail, you can get lost and disoriented easily. Make it to the shed. The doors are normally chained and padlocked. The door is cracked open. Chain and lock on the ground. What the fuck, Ben? I told you to lock this up before we left. If your pa saw it, he'd be pissed. Hear a large cracking sound, like a tree falling in the distance. We all just look. I resume bitching. But anon, I did. And the chain is broken. Look at it. Who would be out here breaking into a shed full of nothing? 3 versus 1. Decide to check it out up close. The thick chain looks like it was gnawed through. I thought some noob robber didn't have the right chain cutter or tools. Cracking sound again. Bit closer. Fuck this. I'm getting a rifle. All grab hunting rifles and head back. The shed door is fully open. A weird smell in the air that reminds me of dead animals on a hot day. I can still remember it so distinctly that I can almost smell it again as I type this. But it also smelled like wet grass and something indescribable. It was so fast I hardly saw it, but it looked like a person crawling on its hands and knees at an inhuman pace. Shit bricks so hard I almost fell. It stopped about 40 feet away. Could barely see it. It looked like someone trying to puke. The horrible smell intensifies. We all raise our rifles. What are you doing on private property? And are you injured? Any sudden movements and we'll shoot. It slowly begins to turn towards us. The nope is real. It looked like a person in dirty-ass clothes. Might have thought it was a bum if it wasn't able to cross 40 feet in like 10 seconds on its hands and knees, making weird gagging noises. Start pushing Ben and Josh back while watching it try to heave. As they keep backing up, I raise my rifle and it makes the most disgusting gag noise I ever heard. It pukes red, pink, and black stuff. Looks up at us. Can't forget its face. Still have nightmares about it. It looked like someone had beaten its face with a hammer. It was all broken and dirty and bloody. Its teeth were yellow, but there was still puke coming out of its mouth and nose. Couldn't see its eyes, really. It had cheek-length, shaggy, dirty brown hair. Can't move. Too afraid. Anon, let's go. Anon, move. Can't. Me and it are staring, and I begin to notice that its fingers are all twisted and broken looking, and it has abscesses on its arms oozing blood and pus. It looks like a semi ran it over. Then it got a mollywhopping by Chris Brown with a hammer. I feel the urge to puke. It seems it's getting darker. It must have been damn near 6. Anon, holy shit, it's moving. What the hell, Anon? Let's go. Anon, come on. Snap out of it and shoot a warning shot towards it. It crawls off so fast that if I had blinked, I could have missed it. Haul asses back home until my uncle shows up. I tell him. He's seen it, tells me to forget, and gives me a beer to help. Can't forget. Can't unsee. I cried all night, I was so afraid.
Picking up a trailer from an unattended, unlit, unpaved dirt lot deep in the middle of Arkansas. Literally nothing but woods for miles around, except for this drop lot. The asshole shuttle driver left the landing gear fully extended on all the trailers. It's a bitch to crank them down when they're loaded. Crank for 15 minutes. Pause to take a break. Leaning against the trailer, all is perfectly quiet. Hear footsteps slowly approaching from the rear of the trailer. What the fuck? I didn't hear another vehicle. Hello? Footsteps stop. No reply. Pull out my phone, turn the light on. Still can't see shit. Of course, my real flashlight had to get stolen a few weeks ago. Flip on every light the truck has, get back out. Anybody out there? Silence. Start cranking the landing gear again, looking around paranoid with my camera light. Footsteps. What the fuck are you doing? Start thinking it might be a bear or something. Suddenly, from the darkness under the trailer, right fucking next to me, like 2 feet away, holy shit. Be careful, in a normal, adult male voice. Jump about 10 feet away, maybe yelp a little. Shine the light under the trailer. Nothing. Take pic related. Nothing. Climb back in the truck. Drive away. Get the trailer the next day.
4 years ago, I was 17 and had just moved out of Jacksonville, Florida. New home is in Baker County, way more rural. It's in a subdivision, though. The fence gate to the driveway is messed up, and I rig it up with clamps and such because I let my dog out. My dog is a yellow lab, pretty loud too. Barks frequently at the neighbor's large number of cats. At the time, their cats had a litter in the garage. Be a Saturday. Wake up to having to trim my dog's nails, watching a college football game. Let my dog out, and decide to keep watching the game. Hear my dog barking, and I start getting aggravated. Go outside, ready to scream at my dog. My dog is standing next to our driveway, barking at a 2-foot hole into the side of our fence. Go over. There's 2 moles. They looked dead, so I got a rag and brought them to the kitchen. They looked fine, but had really labored breathing. In the end, they died, and I buried them in the hole, covering it up. I assumed it was my dog, and she had crushed them perhaps. I was quite surprised, though. She never digs that deep. Over the next few days, my dog stops barking. Whenever I'm outside or am leaving, the cats across the street are nowhere to be found. Thought they were strays anyway. Maybe they left. It's what I had hoped. The neighborhood had gotten quiet lately, too. I never saw the neighbors and rarely saw any animals. My dog had gotten pretty lethargic, too, and didn't seem interested in going out. My cat, Duck, I know it's stupid, didn't name it, seemed to be experiencing the opposite effect. She comes into my room, sitting by my window, looking out at the gate. She'll do this in intervals, coming and going, like a pattern. Speed ahead to the next Saturday. I'm home alone again. It's about 10:30 when I decide to bring my dog in. She had begun barking again. Turn on the garage light, walking out to the driveway. The street lights are out and it's pitch black beyond the gate, at which my dog is barking at, like it's barking up a tree at something. Run over, yank her by the collar back into the garage and close the door. I'm a little creeped out at this point, but decide to try and sleep. I put my dog in her kennel but didn't realize Duck was in my room. She gets up by the window growling, and it scares the shit out of me. Feel reassured it was just my cat, but realize she's still growling. She never has done this. Grab my dad's Mini 14 and charge out into the garage with one of his big flashlights, one you could beat somebody with. Open the garage door, shining the light out. I trace it from the gate, moving it toward the right at the curb of our street. Hear a screech like a cat, the kind it makes whenever it snaps at something. I snap my light toward the source. On the other side of the street, there are 2 adjacent lots stretching about 30 yards back toward some woods that are totally empty with the exception of some tall grass. What I see in the lot or field is still burnt into my brain. It looked like a bear, slouched over the ground down at something on all 4s. I piss myself literally when it gets up onto its hind legs. The only thing I could possibly draw it to in terms of comparison was a werewolf from Dog Soldiers. I dash forward about 10 feet, jabbing the light into the fence toward it. I take a firing position at the fence and start dumping my magazine at it as it retreats into the woods. I nail it right in the upper left shoulder, out of I think 7 shots. It just shrugged it off. This dust or mist comes off into the air after impact. Hop the fence, dumping the rest of the magazine into the trees, then I run back into the house, load up another magazine and sit at my window until 4 in the morning. My parents show up. I jam the Mini 14 under my bed and pretend I'm asleep. I fall asleep. Speed ahead to the next day. Dad asks why his flashlight was on the fence and why the gate was fucked up. The gate? I go out and look. The left side was barely on a hinge. I look around, and the spot from the hole last week, facing the lot by the way, was dug up again on both sides of the fence. Never saw anything again. TLDR, I shot at a big wolf thing harassing my neighborhood that probably ate some moles and other animals.
Be me. Hanging out in the woods at night. Stumble on what looks like an abandoned campsite. Tents are shredded. Trash is lying around everywhere. Remember thinking that it was weird that people were camping this far into the woods. I was only a few miles in, but people cook meth and shit out here. Decide to look around the campsite some more. Spend a while trying to think of a rational explanation as to what could have shredded the tents and trashed the campsite so badly. Just as I'm about to leave, I hear something walk up behind me. Turn around. Nothing. Start walking away from the campsite. Hear the footsteps again. They were different this time. More like stomping. Turn around again. Absolutely goddamn nothing. Pick up the pace a little. If one of the meth cooks was trying to scare me, I definitely got the message. Walk about a mile. Then shit got real spooky. Hear footsteps again, but this time, whatever the hell was behind me was sprinting fast. Start running, but the thing was keeping pace with me pretty easily. At one point it got so close I swore I felt its breath on me. Get out of the woods after what seems like hours of running. The thing stops dead in its tracks. Like it didn't even slow down first. It just stopped. Didn't get a very good look at it, but I saw its silhouette. The thing looked skinnier than the pictures of anorexia that I had seen, and had legs that were longer than the rest of its body. Shine my flashlight on it, which I really wish I wouldn't have. The thing didn't have a mouth, just a mouth painted on with what I assumed was blood. Same thing with the eyes. Run into my house, lock up tight. Sleep in my bathtub with my shotgun at my side all night. I went back to that campsite the next day, and nothing was there. Not nothing as in the campsite had been cleaned up. Nothing as in it looked like nothing had ever been there to begin with. Fuck this state.
B37, laid off from my job at Jiffy Lube due to Obamanomics despite 15 years of hard work for the company. Develop an addiction to crystal meth. Spend most of my money saved up within 7 weeks. Get evicted for being unable to pay rent. Use my last $30 to buy a crappy Walmart tent and cheap blanket. Spent 3 years in Boy Scouts. Think it won't be so bad. It is that bad. 12th night there, decide to run down a small hill away from the campsite as nature is calling. See a light in the distance. Pretty remote area. Think I can steal some food from their cooler. Sneak up on the tent in the rain, can only see 2 shadows. Not much movement. Look in the cooler. Just crumbled bits of graham crackers and Hershey syrup. Haven't eaten much, so scarf it down quickly. Walking away when that smell hits me. Start to watch the couple. Try to push the flap a bit more to peek in the screen. They see me. Oh shit. Yell so loud that chocolatey cracker crumbs from my beard land on her face. Her boyfriend chases me back up the hill to my campsite, leap into my tent and grab my hatchet, cut John Wayne here down to size, take his face and wear it. Poke my head in the tent. The girl seems relieved at first until I climb the rest of the way in. Her face, the horror. Spent that entire magical summer in the woods, /x/. Sometimes dreams do come true.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel, as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.